The conflict between Israel and Palestine is one of the longest running and the most violent disputes in the world. There have been series of wars between Israel and Arab nations. You know what is happening in Gaza now. Do you ever thought how it was started? That's why in this video we'll go back in the history and we'll check out these topics. Why Jews want only Palestine, Jews' secret plan, what happened after the independence of Israel, and we'll discuss about the consequences of historic disputes over land, borders, and rights that are still being felt, and including latest war that is happening between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Why Jews want only Palestine? To find this, let's go back in the history. In 1300 BCE, Allah ordered the Prophet Musa alayhi salam to free Bani Israel from the slavery of Pharaoh in Egypt. Thereafter, seeing a lot of hardship, Musa alayhi salam succeeded and finally reached Palestine. And then Musa alayhi salam ordered the Bani Israel attack on this city. But they said, you and your Lord should go and fight. We are not going to fight. Because of this, Allah punished them by living in the desert where Torah was revealed on Prophet Musa alayhi salam. This area, Palestine, is only for the children of Ibrahim, which is written in the first chapter of Torah, Genesis. Because of this, Jews are claiming Palestine and Jerusalem is only for Bani Israel, because Bani Israel are the children of Ishaq alayhi salam. But Prophet Ibrahim had two sons, Ishaq and Ismail alayhi salam. Remember, this area Palestine is only for the children of Ibrahim alayhi salam. That means Arabs have equal right because Arabs are the children of Ismail alayhi salam. After 40 years living in desert, finally Bani Israel took Jerusalem. But Jerusalem slipped out from their hand after some time. Then after 300 years later, they took again Jerusalem in the leadership of Dawood alayhi salam. After 400 years, in 586 BCE, Iraq took Jerusalem and they destroyed everything, and they destroyed that temple also, which was built by Sulaiman alayhi salam. After 70 years, the Cyrus the Great attacked on Iraq and he helped and gave fund to Jews to build that temple again. Then after 400 years later, the Roman Empire took Palestine, which drove out Jews from Palestine for 600 years. Roman Empire killed thousands of Jews, and Roman Empire destroyed that temple again, which was built by Sulaiman alayhi salam and rebuilt by the Cyrus the Great. After 600 years later, Hazrat Umar, who became most powerful king of the world, whose empire was much bigger than the empire of Alexander the Great. While conquering the Roman Empire, Muslims reached the gate of the Jerusalem. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had already said Muslims will definitely conquer Jerusalem one day. Now, Muslims had two options. First, siege of Jerusalem. Second, destroy the Jerusalem. But after 6 months, the governor of Jerusalem, Sophronius, said, I will hand over Jerusalem on only one condition: when Muslims king Hazrat Umar come and meet me. Then Hazrat Umar came with his one camel and his servant. But servant was sitting on the camel and the king Hazrat Umar was coming on its foot in simple clothes. This scene was shocking for Sophronius and whole Jews. Then sent Sophronius hand over Jerusalem to the Hazrat Umar, but on one condition, that Muslims will not allow Jews to come in Jerusalem. But Hazrat Umar didn't accept it. Now Jews were also allowed in Palestine. This is how first time Jerusalem came in the hands of Ibrahim alayhi salam's son Ismail alayhi salam. After 350 years later, Christians again attacked on Jerusalem. At that time, there were many fights going on among Muslims. Because of this, Christians easily conquered Jerusalem. After conquering Jerusalem, they killed thousands of Jews and Muslims. And then they even converted Masjid al-Aqsa from mosque to a palace. After 90 years, Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi conquered Jerusalem by gathering armies from all around the Muslim world. Then Christians were thinking, now Salahuddin will take revenge by killing us. But he didn't kill any Christian, as like Hazrat Umar. And Salahuddin Ayyubi gave freedom to every religion, and he again converted Masjid al-Aqsa from palace to mosque. So, whenever any king has conquered Jerusalem, a lot of blood has always been shed here, except Muslims who conquered this city with complete peace. After 800 years and 100 years ago, in 1897, a Jewish leader, Theodor Herzl, who was advocated for establishment of Jewish homeland in Palestine. But remember, at that time, Palestine was under control by Ottoman Empire. And then a day came, the first Zionist Congress founded by Theodor Herzl at Basel, Switzerland, held on August 29 to 31, where Herzl and other prominent figures in the Zionist movement discussed and debated their visions for establishment of Jewish state. In 1920, Britain took control over Transjordan. In present times, Palestine and Jordan, these were the areas that was under controlled by Britain after the Ottoman Empire's collapsed. At that time, an Arab majority and Jews minority was living there. But first, let's go back in 1917, after World War I, when Britain showed or agreed for the establishment in Palestine national homeland for the Jewish people, a pledge known as the Balfour Declaration. Tensions between Jews and Arabs deepened when UK agreed on Balfour Declaration and the Ottoman Empire lost control on Palestine. Now, in 1947, many of the Jews arriving to grow in Palestine, almost 630,000 Jews arrived, which was 30% from the Jewish population. This was the secret plan of Jews. They were coming from all around the world and purchasing lands from Muslims in Palestine. Now, in 1947, violences were growing between Arabs and Jews, and also against British rule. Then the United Nations voted for to split the Palestine in separate Jews and Arab nations. But you might be thinking, what about the Jerusalem? Well, they decided Jerusalem will be the international city, but Arabs were not agreed, and they argued they are planning to give Jews more land, even though they are small in numbers. And then at that time, Britain wanted to leave Palestine as soon as possible, but problems were rising between Jews and Arabs. Then the Britain decided to hand over the problems to UN on 14 May 1948. Remember, 14 May 1948. On this day, Jewish leader in Palestine declared an independent state known as Israel before even British rule was not ended. At the same time, United Nations recognized Israel as an independent state, and the two other superpowers of that time, United States and Soviet Union, also recognized Israel as an independent state. This marked the beginning of the massacre that is happening today, because over 7 lakh to 8 lakh Palestinian Arabs displaced, and many of the Palestinian Arabs were also remained with Israel's newly formed borders. Even today, they are 20% of the Israel's population. After 19 years of Israel's independence, in 1967, a war between Israel and Egypt, Syria and Jordan. It was an intense conflict and important for Israel because after this war, Jews had captured East Jerusalem. It was first time that Jerusalem came under the Jewish sovereignty after nearly 2000 years, and Israel had also captured other areas from Arab countries. It was a 6 days war in which Israel changed his boundaries. Israel had captured Sinai Peninsula and Gaza from Egypt. Most of the Golan Heights from Syria, and the East Jerusalem and the West Bank from Jordan. And now 1 million Palestinians came under control by Israel. Israel have occupied these areas even today. These areas are under control by Israel, and Israel had signed peace treaty with Egypt, returned on the Sinai Peninsula in 1979. It annexed East Jerusalem and Golan Heights, making them the part of Israel. Although this has not recognized by most of the international community.